So I'm one of the co-founders of Tab. Tab's a mobile payments app for dining. We're operational in just under 100 of Canada's top restaurants, spread across Toronto and most recently Montreal. We launched in Montreal a couple months ago. I was told not to get into a product pitch here, so I'll move off of the stuff about Tab. But if you haven't downloaded Tab yet, go ahead and do so. Tab in the iPhone App Store, and you got to search Tab Payments in the Android App Store. Enjoy. So we're Tab Payments on Twitter. I'm Epstein32 on Twitter. Get.tabpayments.co. So I'm here to talk about what to build next. Product strategy for early stage startups. So we're going to start from like the genesis of a concept to where we're kind of at right now at Tab. So when you're first starting out and you have a small team together, the first thing that you're going to want to do pre-launch, not necessarily the first thing, but when you're pre-launch and you have some idea of what your product's going to be, you really need to, before you dive deep into actually creating the product, is to get interactive wireframes or interactive mock-ups. So I'd highly recommend anyone that's at this pre-product stage to use InVision app for this. Now the benefit for these interactive mock-ups and wireframes is you're able to get customer feedback immediately. Like InVision is an incredible product in which people will actually click through it and think that it's a native app. So you're going to get people touching with your app and playing with your app, and you're going to get feedback on what's important, what to kill, and you're going to be able to iterate a lot quicker based on that feedback without putting in the sunk capital cost of development with your engineering team. Throughout this presentation, I'll try and sprinkle kernels of things that we did at Tab to implement these concepts. So when we were pre-launched, before we even started working on our merchant iPad app, we put in a small ad on Craigslist to recruit as many experienced servers and managers to come and play with our product. We hadn't written a line of code on the Tab merchant app, and we just got all these servers touching the product, seeing where they fumbled up, and they were able to tell us these kernels of wisdom that we had no idea about, having not worked in hospitality, and it was invaluable feedback to create the product that we have today. So I highly recommend, before you write that line of code, get design, get people touching your product with InVision. And then you're going to launch. So you're going to launch with an MVP. A lot of people are familiar with the concept MVP, minimum viable product. So there's a misnomer with the MVP concept, and that is the fact that it should look like crap or feel like crap. An MVP needs to have polish. So my perspective on an MVP is you should have the smallest number of features possible to provide value. So cut everything that you possibly can out so that you're providing one subset of value to a specific type of user, and then get the product in the hands of that user. There are a lot of things that you can cut out throughout the way. You need to cut out all those extraneous features that you got from your interactive prototypes and mock-ups, and then once you have that very core functionality, polish the hell out of it. A polish is very, very important, and I'll tell you why. When you launch with a polished product, despite a product that doesn't do that much, you're able to, one, show your ability to execute. So you'll be able to see that you can put together this clear thought and clear attention to detail that's required in launching consumer products today. You can only launch once, so you're able to really own that moment with an experience that a specific subset of users really hopefully enjoy. And then it allows you to sell the vision. People are going to buy into your vision of what's coming greater, much easier and much better when they're able to touch a polished product at the beginning. So with your MVP, cut features, enhance polish with the features that you do have. And then after you launch, you're going to get these two amazing things. You're going to get these necessary features that you cut that you know you need to improve upon, so you build those, and then you're going to get feedback. Feedback's going to be anecdotal, and it's also going to be from data. So anecdotal, get as much feedback as possible. Talk to your users. Anyone that has paid with Tab at the Tromba booth over there will receive a personal email from me asking them how their Tab experience was. And then hopefully you'll respond and give me amazing feedback, like what your favorite restaurants are. And we're able to get that automated anecdotal data in a way that we wouldn't have otherwise done so if we didn't put an emphasis on retrieving that. And then with traction, the really, really important thing with traction is you get a lot of data. So once you get this data, I highly recommend every single person setting up the infrastructure to have a client-side analytic product. We use Mixpanel. Flurry's also awesome. So with that, examine what your users are doing. Check out their common behavior. See what they want to do. Look at the common characteristics of power users. Really important stuff. See where you lose users. Do a retention analysis. This is the type of data that's vital to take you to the next step. And that next step, I think we had a duplicate slide there, is what's next. So we're kind of at this point with Tab. We've been out for 10 months, and now we need to figure out what's next for us. We have a product, it's in market, people are using it, we're in a lot of restaurants. So this is the trap of what's next. You have a team of engineers, you have all this feedback, you have all this data, and you know what? People are going to tell you what your product needs to do. And it's not going to be great. You're going to know that this button should be better, and this flow should be optimized. And there's all these little things that you can improve upon. There will always be little things that you can improve upon. What's really, really important is to not go with the incremental advice, because incrementalism leads to irrelevance. You need to think of what's big. Take this data, see the larger picture, and go into building that new thing for your product that is a risk. So the next thing for you should be to take a data-driven product, Chris, to be a great company. Irrelevant companies will build incremental improvements on their products. Take that big risk to make your product great, and ask yourself these key questions here. How can you improve your core metrics by an order of magnitude? How do you get 2x more engagement, 3x more engagement, or 5x more engagement? And when you're able to get those insights, you're able to find out what you should really build next for that stage. And after that, I don't know. We're at that stage right now with Tab. I haven't gotten past that. I'm sure there's many more questions, but that's kind of the framework with which we guide our decisions at Tab. And if you want to see what we're doing next before anyone else, you can sign up for our beta at tabpayments.co/iPhone. That'll take you into a beta link. It might be French right now. We're launching our French app tomorrow, and you'll be able to see what we're building next. And we got some exciting stuff coming up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So that's it. Any questions? Yeah. Right, so his question was, what's the incentive for merchants, and have we tried to partner with OpenTable? So incentive for merchants, there's a lot of benefits. They're pretty profound. At a high level, it's a personalized, better dining experience for guests. They get higher tips. It's added marketing, turn tables faster. The way we handle payments is with a lot more efficiency and transparency. And there's a couple others. Why don't we partner with OpenTable? I'll let you decide that. There's a couple reasons why we haven't partnered with OpenTable, and they're relatively strategic. Yeah. Well, one, it validated what we were doing. Like, we had servers tell us, if I never have to see the guest after I hand them the coffee and dessert, that's the best experience for me possible. But no joke, like, there's no value added to that experience of cashing a customer out. I would say rather than like high level stuff, one, we were validated, and then two, it really optimized the way in which we handled the flow for the server. We tried to recreate it as much as possible to be as easy and simple as it is today, and it's really important. Like, servers love our app, and the reason was because we put in that work before we launched. Yeah. So we made a strategic decision. Why launch our French app? We made a strategic decision to expand to Montreal. Montreal was a very important market for us. We have competitors in the States, so you can kind of think about that there. I'm sorry? 2 languages we have to manage. The same product, though. It's not that much work. We built the infrastructure to build it now, and we'll have it moving forward. Yeah. Okay. So we didn't throw a big party in New York, but it sounds awesome. Our party's right there in the back. It's the cost of tequila and our time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.